Have you ever felt alone and helpless in a crowd, or found yourself in a crowded world where people like you look down on you just because of your color? If you have never lived in such conditions, let me tell you that in such conditions people cannot breathe. Moving on to the story. This story starts from 1963. This was the time when there was discrimination between blacks and whites in America. In this environment, we are shown a girl whose name is Evelyn, who is an African American. At this time, black females who work in other people's homes are called Negro mates. She works for Elizabeth. In fact, she takes care of Elizabeth's daughter because Elizabeth can't take care of her daughter. Her daughter was also very attached to Evelyn. Now the scene shifts to Evelyn's friend Minny. She is also a Negro mate and works for a woman who was very arrogant. Minny and Evelyn have been friends since childhood. After this, the scene shifts to another girl who was Elizabeth's good friend. This girl has completed her graduation some time ago, and now she is a writer. She gets a job in a journal in her city. After getting a job, she goes to meet Elizabeth. Here she also meets that arrogant woman for whom Minny worked. That woman's name was Hilly. Here Elizabeth had a party in her house, in which all her white friends had come. Hilly tells all her friends that Negro mates work in our house. That's why I'm going to start a program in which we will make separate bathrooms for our Negro mates. We will not let them use our bathroom because they have a lot of diseases with them. We realized from her words that Hilly considers herself superior to African American people. Elizabeth's maid Evelyn hears all this, which she does not like at all. But after a while, the writer girl came to Evelyn. She says that I apologize for whatever Hilly said. From her words, we understood that the writer does not have any inferiority complex. She is very good at heart because a Negro maid had also raised the writer. Now when she was with her parents, she asks them that why did you fire that maid? Then her parents say that we did not fire her. In fact, the maid's daughter took her with her to Chicago. That Negro maid had taken care of the writer for 20 years. This is the reason why the writer still lives with her today. The writer thinks that there is something wrong with the Negro maids here. They are not being given their rights. So she decides that I will write a book on these Negro maids. So she calls her boss and asks about it. Her boss said that no Negro maid will tell you her story because this could put her job in danger. But yes, if you are successful in writing a book on Negro maids, then I will definitely publish it. After which the writer comes to Evelyn and asks her to tell her story. But Evelyn refused because she knew that this way my job could be in danger. After this, we see Evelyn's friend Minny, who was taking care of Hilly's mother. Now the night was long and it was also raining outside. So tonight she decides to stay here. Now Minny had to go to the washroom because of the rain. She could not go outside. So she secretly uses the washroom inside the house. But Hilly had found out about this. That's why she insults Minny by telling her a lot of things. Not only this, but at night she kicks her out of the job, because of which that poor girl has to go home in the rain. Another story like this. The chef made a proposal to Margot. Look, you weren't on our guest list, so now you have only one option. Either join our staff or stay among these customers. Either way, you have to die. Now it's up to you whatever you want to do. So here, Margot expresses her desire to join their staff as a cook. To watch this video, click the link attached with the I button above and also at the end screen. Back to the story. The next day she calls Evelyn and tells her everything. That how Hilly first insulted me and then kicked me out of work. She also tells that Hilly has told everyone that I have stolen in her house. Although I did not do anything like this. But because of this, now no one will give me a job in their house. That's why Minnie's husband also came home, who beats her a lot because he also found out that Minnie's job is gone. And Evelyn hears all this on the phone. She is very sad. The next day when Evelyn went to church, she hears her father saying that if you love your enemy, then you win that time. She liked this very much. And now she gets ready to give an interview to the writer and tells her all her story. There Minnie came to a woman's house who wanted to keep her on the job for a long time because she knew that no one can cook better food than Minnie. This woman was a model. She gets very happy to see Minnie. She was a very good woman of heart. She did not believe in the difference between high and low. That's why in the first meeting, she hugs Minnie. Long too. Now we see Hilly, who had gathered all the women of her society because all of them had made their group. Hilly tells them that I am going to start my program soon. That is, they were going to make separate bathrooms for the maid soon. The writer had also come to this meeting. Hilly tells her that you must write about our program in your journal. After removing Minnie from work, Hilly had hired a new maid which had to get both her children admitted in college. But this poor girl did not have so much money. And when she asked money from Hilly, she insulted the maid and refused. One day when the maid was cleaning the house, she gets a ring from behind the sofa. She does not return the ring to Hilly. In fact, she keeps it with her. One night the writer came to Evelyn's house. When Evelyn was telling her story, Minnie comes here and starts answering her questions. Then Evelyn and the writer together explain everything to her, with which now Minnie also agrees to tell her story. She started telling the writer her story. She was having so much fun in it that it becomes morning while telling the story. One day the writer's mother nicely prepares her and sends her on a date with a boy. This meeting was arranged by Hilly, but in the first meeting, the writer has a fight with that boy and she gets up in anger and leaves from there. There Minnie was also teaching the model to work. She also teaches her to cook, but until now the model had not told her husband about Minnie. Now when Minnie sat down to eat food, the model also came to her and sat down. She started eating with her, with which we understood that she is such a good woman of the heart. The writer calls her boss and tells that I have written the stories stories of 2 Negroes. But her boss says that I cannot publish 2 stories, so you will have to write at least 12 stories. Writer tells this to Aibileen and Minny, but now they did not have a way to turn back, because they had already decided that we will definitely raise our voice against the atrocities happening with us, for which we need more stories. Yes, Aibileen now starts telling her son's story. She says that a white man had put a truck on my son, because of which he died. While telling her son's story, Aibileen was very emotional. She had tears in her eyes. Now one day the writer went to Hilly's house. She tries to talk to her maid because she wanted to convince her to tell her story. But then Hilly came here. Hilly thought that my maid is asking money from the writer, but the writer clearly refused for this. That no, there is no such thing. One night the writer was typing Hilly's article in her journal. She wrote that if you respect my program, then put your old quotes in the courtyard of my house. But the writer wanted to take revenge from her. That's why she writes a commode instead of a quote and prints it. The next day when the writer woke up, she had come to meet the same boy with whom she had gone on a date earlier. That boy apologizes to the writer for the behavior of that day, and again takes her on a date where everything was fine between them. Their relationship also happens. Now we see Hilly. She was looking very worried. The writer had printed his article in the journal. After reading it, people really put their old commodes in Hilly's courtyard. This makes Hilly's joke in front of everyone. She is very insulted. On the other hand, Minny heard a loud voice from the model's bathroom. When she went to check, she found out that the model was pregnant, but now she has miscarriage. That's why Minny picks up the model and lays her on the bed. She takes good care of her, so Minny and the model emotionally connect with each other. The model tells Minny that I have had miscarriage twice before, and I had buried my children in the garden of the house. One day when all the maids come home, the police came here. Who catches Hilly's maid? Because they found out Hilly's ring from her. The police beat the maid a lot, and Hilly was watching all this in her car. When the writer found out this, she goes to meet those maids. After this incident, a passion came inside those maids. She decides that we will definitely raise our voice against this cruelty. That's why she tells her story to the writer one by one. One day the model goes to meet Hilly at her house. Hilly was at home where there were many other women with her. She completely ignores her and closes the door, with which she comes home sad. Minny tells her that Hilly herself wanted to marry your husband, but because you married him, that's why Hilly is jealous of you. She doesn't like you. The writer completes her book of 250 pages, but Aibileen was afraid that if this book is published, then our jobs can go. The writer promises Aibileen that no one will affect your job. Actually, Aibileen did not have the confidence to publish that book, but Minny had decided that I will not be afraid of white people at any cost now, and I will take my revenge from Hilly. That's why she now tells another story to Aibileen and the writer. That when Hilly fired me from work, then I took a pie for her to apologize to her. Hilly liked my pie very much. She was eating it with pleasure. When Hilly ate 2 pieces of the pie, then I told her that I had added my shit to it. Hearing this, Hilly could not believe it. She was completely shaken. Even her mom was laughing at her. Minny told this story because Hilly had not taken any action against her yet, because she could not tell people that I ate Minny's shit, because this way Hilly's honor will be completely ruined. That's why now Aibileen also agrees to publish the book. But before publishing the book, the writer comes to her mom and asks her about the maid who took care of the writer for 20 years. Then the writer's mom tells that many years ago I had a party in my house, in which all the women of the society had come. She tells that when the party was going on, at that time the maid's daughter came to meet her, and she came in front of all the guests without permission. So to save my honor in front of the women, I fired the maid from the job when that poor girl had not even made a mistake. Hearing this, the writer became very emotional. She starts crying. Then her mom tells that I had gone back to that maid, but by then it was too late because the maid had fallen in love with God. After which the writer publishes her book. In a short time, the book becomes very famous. Everywhere people start reading this book. The name of the book was The Help, which is also the name of this movie. People laugh a lot at the moving shit in the book. In return for publishing this book, the writer gets $600, but she gives $600 to those maids who told her their stories. Each maid gets $46 from them, which make her very happy. But after the book is published, the writer's fiancé gets very angry with her. He tells the writer that you should have talked to me before this book. You should not have published this. After which he breaks his relationship with the writer and goes away from there. When Hilly reads that book, she finds out that it is also written about me in it. The way Minny gave her shirt. After reading this, Hilly moves again, and she goes to argue with the writer about this. She tells the writer a lot of things. Their argument reaches the limit, but then the writer's mom comes in the middle of their fight. She insults Hilly and drives her away from there. Actually, the writer's mom had also read that book. She understood how much atrocity was being done on the Negro maids. She tells the writer that today I am very proud of you, that you are my daughter. She also tells her that a job offer has come from New York for you. They are going to give you a good salary. Hearing this offer, the writer becomes very happy. There Minny was going to the model's house with the groceries, where the model's husband comes behind. Now Minny thought that he would insult me, so she starts running. But he cries and says that I did not come to insult you. In fact, I have known from the first day that you are coming to my house. Since you have started working in my house, my wife's condition has improved a lot. And now my wife has also told me everything about you, also that when she had a miscarriage, how much you took care of her. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that. After which he brings Minny with him to his house, where the model had made a lot of dishes for her. The model's husband husband tells Minny that now you will stay with us till your last breath. Both husband and wife respect Minny so much that they feed her with their own hands. And finally Minny got the respect of her share, for which she struggled so much, for which she always yearned. Now in their Negro society a lot of respect is given to Aibileen and Minny. They are admired and praised. Because the voice they had raised, it was not for everyone to raise that voice. All Negro people applaud them. They also give them a book on which all Negro people had signed. This was the same book on which their stories were written. That is, The Help. Now Minny and Aibileen give the book to the writer as a thank you. And for the last time they meet the writer here. The writer tells them that I am going to New York for a job. On this, Aibileen and Minny congratulate her. When Aibileen came to Elizabeth's house for work, then Hilly also comes here. Actually, Hilly had gone mad, and she wanted to take her revenge from Aibileen. That's why she blames Aibileen that she stole the silver spoon. Now although Aibileen also tells her that I did not steal, but Hilly does not stop. She provokes Elizabeth against Aibileen and tells her to remove her from the job. But here Aibileen does not listen to Hilly's nonsense. The burning face of anger that was raging inside her breaks here. She completely falls on Hilly and decides to leave from here. The last time she meets Elizabeth's daughter whom she had raised. Then she says the last goodbye to Elizabeth and leaves from there. But after she left, Elizabeth started crying because she understood that I have done a lot wrong with Aibileen so far. I shouldn't have done that. Now when Aibileen was leaving from there, she tells us that my son always wanted to become a writer. He told me that one of our family members will definitely become a writer. So now I will fulfill his wish by becoming a writer. Because he is no more, now I have to fulfill his dream. She moves forward crying. And with this emotional story ends here. You must have liked this story. If you dare, you can change your situation today, not your yesterday. I think it is not right to look down on people just on the basis of their color and race, because all human beings are the same. What is your opinion? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. We will be waiting for you. For more updates, hit the like and subscribe button.